Hello, and we are live once again. We're trying our best, lad, to
stand him up.
Oh yeah, stand them up for the troops.
Any better? It's a slightly odd,
Slightly angled. It's just.
Ooh, I can't see a damn thing either. You've got the.
How is that, lads? Maybe it's coming a bit more.
Why is that so weird?
Oh, there we go. Okay. Right, lads. Settings. Audio. Default. Hey, 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 hey. Let us know, lads, how is the picture quality? We've connected to Wi-Fi, and we're sitting here. Yeah, I think we're almost. That's almost good. Let us know how is the picture. How is the? Are we better off turning this way?
Yeah, probably because I can't see a damn thing.
Yeah. Right, so let's come around here, and then we can see the screen better.
On that.
That should work. Is that
better? That's a little bit better. Sort of vaguely see.
Yeah, you're in there. Right, lads, let us know. Picture is okay. Well, look, we're connected to the end. Jesus Christ. Picture and sound quality is amazing. I'm not sure whether you're taking the piss. Because
we must be taking the piss.
We're well aware that it's not been great, but can you just give us an honest opinion? We're trying our best here again to just tune in and bring you guys some content.
live from the front line.
We were aware that the last one wasn't so good. I think Sochi is just bad signal for data. So we were having this debate. Do we keep on going?
Not taking the piss.
Oh, okay. We were debating. Do we keep on actually putting out content while it's dodgy connection, just because at least it's live and authentic? So it's up to you guys to make the judgment call on that. If you want us to continue doing it, then just say so. But you're going to have to accept probably a little downgrade in visual and audio, right?
The thing is, we're traveling around. We're in these places where the Wi-Fi quality is different.
You like him?
Yeah, got him.
He's off. He's off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Off he charges into the mist. Can you see that, lads? No? Okay, so not interested. And you can see this man approaching with my steak tartare. Here he comes. Oh, tasty. How do you stand this thing up again? I know. I'm a retard. It's a fine looking steak tartare.
Right, okay. How is it?
It's not too bad quality. Okay, good.
Right, so what do we? What's the topic?
Anything you want, guys. Open Q&A. Fire the questions at us. No. So you're missing the point, Jake. Go off my arse off. She wasn't interested. Yes, that's good.
Who said that?
He's clarified it. So he said, laugh my arse off. She was not interested when you approached, but respect for trying. You're missing the point here, I feel. If you're approaching a lot, you're actively getting rejected, right? As well as some success. So if you're not getting rejected, my man, you're not approaching enough. We use rejection as a strategy to meet women that are into us. We're filtering through the low interest ones, finding the higher interest ones. That's what we do, right? Of course, you're going to get some rejections.
It's all part of the game. We are basically here, we're socializing, we're talking to a lot of different women. Some of them are resonating with us, others aren't, and that's really as far as it goes. But as we were saying earlier on the stream before, when we were in that club last night, the reality is that most guys, except for us, were not approaching at all. I think there were two guys who were maybe doing a little bit of approaching in the club. That was it, apart from us. And we were just reading an article actually by Good Looking Loser.
Yeah.
And he was making the point that the majority of guys, there's two things really. You've got to look good and you've got to approach a lot. And you've got to go and talk to a lot of women, right? And most guys do not have both of those down. All right.
We'll link that article below actually. So
it's a really, really good article. But most guys don't have those two things down. Okay. So so what he's saying is that, you know, you work on your looks to the best degree that you can, because shock horror, looks matter. You know, this should not be a news flash to anybody, but yes, looks matter. So you work on your looks to the highest degree possible. And then you've got to go out and just approach as much as you possibly can. Now, when you approach as much as you possibly can, you are going to get rejected. Surprise, surprise. Again, this shouldn't be, you know, some kind of a strange MILF. This shouldn't be some kind of a strange, you know, groundbreaking concept. You are going to get rejected. The majority of guys are going to get rejected. James Tusk gets rejected. I get rejected a lot, right? So what? Who cares, right? You know, you've got to be in it to win it. I mean, we're both, at the end of the day, we're both sitting down. We've got a bunch of leads. That is to say, live phone numbers or contacts. We go through, we're contacting the leads, knowing full well that the majority, even of those leads, are not going to come off. They're not going to convert. It's not going to lead to a date or anything else. A very small proportion of the approaches that you make will convert into anything significant. And that's okay. Because what would you rather do? Would you rather sit around at home in your bedroom and die? Or would you rather just go out there and take action? Because you only need a few yeses to have a fantastic life, and certainly a fantastic dating life.
Yeah, and if you go to a new place, for example, we're off to Siberia tomorrow. If we approach like headless chickens and put in the reps in this city of 3 million people, we only need 2 of them to say yes.
Yeah,
and we're going to have a great experience. 2 of them say yes, and 2 of them we resonate with, and we'll have an amazing experience. I mean, that's all you need to know, really.
I would rather, you know, like you've got a choice. I mean, sometimes the black pill people will say, well, if you are like a low value man, you know, you've got to approach like a dancing monkey. You've got to do thousands of approaches before the chance of getting anything. But flip that on its head. You know, if say you had to do 100 approaches before you were going to get, you know, a favorable outcome, well, wouldn't you rather just do the 100 approaches, right, and get blown out 99 times? I mean, so what? It doesn't really matter. You don't remember the blowouts. At the end of the day, what you remember is the successes, okay? But the successes are only going to come about if you put the reps in, all right? I don't know, man. I mean, like, we're trying to show reality here. This is the whole point of these streams.
Yeah, I think most people we speak to, unfortunately, are just clueless, aren't they?
Yeah.
And this is why we have a job. We're trying to help guys out. Yeah, I agree. If you can try and mess around with the settings on your end, guys, because you can adjust in YouTube settings to put your quality higher. If you've got a low quality stream going on, then it's going to exacerbate viewing R1. It's going to make it even worse. But if you put your quality of the stream on your side, YouTube settings to the highest level, then it'll probably be better. So it's just something to note. Yeah, that's exactly what Content Man says. Exactly.
What's that?
Just about the YouTube stream on their side. If they put it up, it should come across as better. Tush, what was your program and nutrition that got you in shape, and how do you manage this while traveling? Speak to JP. He's my trainer. He manages everything, the diet and the nutrition and the training program. Rockstar. Just Google rockstar.co fitness or James Tush JP on YouTube. You're going to come up with his details. Send him an email or get in touch with me. I'll put you in touch with him. He's your man. He's your expert. Go to an expert. I'm not an expert. What about girls who are sticking to her in a hostel, sticking to their own groups? I mean, if you're
my style sticking to their own groups.
Hostel.
Oh, okay. Wow.
If you're no, I haven't got anything against hostels to meet people. I think it's actually a good option if you're traveling solo or maybe doing interrailing or you're a younger guy. But if you're over the age of 30, I don't know. I think you just got to learn to cold approach, learn to be sociable, learn to go out and meet people in day game and also kind of bars and stuff. I remember being 21, 22, traveling around and I was staying in hostels, and I always saw these guys who were like 30, 35, and I just thought they were a bit weird, to be honest, because they're hanging around places with teenagers. And I've got nothing, you know, absolutely, I'm not saying you can't date 19, 20-year-olds. But again, it's just a bit, I don't know, I'd see it as lower value personally.
Yeah, and also as well, I mean, why
stay in a nice hotel? And if you're over the age of 30 and you don't have the money for that, sort your finances out. If you're under the age of 30, it's fine to stay in hostels, and it's a good way to meet people, but don't be reliant on it. Learn to cold approach, right? Learn to expand that ecosystem.
Yeah, the other problem as well is if you put yourself into a hostile environment, you are then putting yourself into a hierarchy, because guess what? The dude who's the Chad, the highest valued guy in the hostel, is going to be getting all the attention. The second highest guy, his mate, is going to be getting the second most attention, and you're going to be judged within that hierarchy. Now, if you happen to come out at the top of that hierarchy, then great. She's taller than him. How can that possibly be? She must be a paid actress. Yeah, you know, why put yourself into a hierarchy? It's far better to be either a lone wolf or to travel with, you know, a friend or a couple of friends, and you guys are outside. You don't want to put yourself into some artificial hierarchy and getting judged against other guys. You want to be the guy who comes in out of the cold and swoops in, and then, you know, it's define your own value. You know, if you go into a hostile situation, I don't know, man. You're just going to be judged against the other people in there, like in that microcosm, and I just don't see that as being a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating dynamics because I've stayed in hostels in places like Budapest and stuff. She's grinning like a walrus. Oh, hello. You want to go? Do you like it?
No, not really.
Ginger nut? Other treats? Yes, I've gamed in Beirut. Great place. Really, really cool. Why don't you guys go get a smart haircut, skin fade or something? Jake, why don't you stop? Why do you sit there? Why are you sitting on a live stream to give us advice when you can't even, you don't even know the concept of like approaching? Why don't you go and do an approach? Keep it positive, keep it above board, or you're going to find yourself in a one-way ticket to Blocksville, i.e. the next comment you produce that's like this. Just do one. It's very good steak tartare, the best in Russia. I had a girl approach me recently. I wasn't that into her. We chatted a minute, but I didn't pursue it. Should I have just to get practice? If you found her a little bit attractive, yes. What's the ginger like? Is she not? She needs to take the sunglasses off. Oh, she always did. Right on cue. It's not a tight little bod. I mean, is it worth a crack? How long is a piece of string?
How long is a piece of string? This is the problem. But the problem we've got
if
here.
Without approach is always better than a motto, isn't it? No, she is. Let's see where she goes.
She's scurrying like a rat up a drain pipe.
You could be that rat in her. She's going down to, let's see what she looks like.
I'm just not sure. This is the problem, though, guys. When you're in a place where there's an abundance of high quality, then
Gotta make friends. Fascinating. Anyway, let's go back.
Where's that woman got a cloth on her head?
Where are you from? What? Say hello. Why not? We speak Russian.
We speak very good Russian.
Babushka.
Привет.
5 minutes.
All right, we might be joined.
It's a soft blowout. No, it's a soft blowout. I'll be right there.
I still don't know if she was in any way attractive or not.
Okay, this is a great one from Fabio. You need to address this, I think, Troy.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, I can't get rid of the feeling that I'm 29 and I'm past my peak.
Jesus Christ.
And that my chances with hot 20 to 23-year-olds are gone. Any advice?
Well, listen, man.
Read the Rational Mail.
Wait a minute. She might be coming over. I am 47, so I'm nearly dead, and the age range you're talking about has been absolutely fine. So here's our friends. What's your name?
Anastasia.
Can you say hello to the guys? Say hello to the guys in London.
Hello.
Hello.
Я там никого не вижу. А там никого нету, да? Hello.
Say hello.
Привет.
Wait, куда? Where are you from?
From
London.
And you?
I'm from Russia.
Sochi?
No.
Moskva?
Turgut.
So good.
It's so good.
Like pastry.
It's so good, guys.
We need some more so good.
Shall we speak to Anastasia about what it's like dating
Крайнего севера.
guys in Sochi?
Siberia.
No.
We go to Siberia.
No.
You are here alone or with people? Do you have friends? While we're doing this, let me answer some questions.
No.
What is it?
Oh, it's your. No. That was the boyfriend that just got hung up on, was it?
What questions have we got coming in here?
How long
We're
are you
talking
guys?
to-
How long are you guys in Russia for?
We're in Russia until the end of time.
1 more week. 2 golden balls. Is
Вы здесь отдыхать приехали?
We're speaking to live stream.
live stream.
Yeah. We are talking about dating in Russia.
Sochi.
So in Sochi, yeah. Are
What?
you on holiday? Vacation?
No.
No, vacate. You live here?
Working.
Work? Go. Okay.
No.
No live streams. What do you do later?
Что? What?
Translate.
What is
we can do is
Domri?
we can clear this up and then we can crack on the stream.
Okay. All right. Mr. Tusk is cleaning this up. So while he's doing that, what are people saying?
Yeah, have a read through the questions. Just so we can crack through someone. Oh, there's the Knight of Doom. Yes.
Oh my God, she's smoking hot. Somebody. I'm not quite sure that's totally accurate. You guys, I can't even read this stuff.
Oh,
Yes,
that'll be reading.
yes. Yeah.
So Ryan says, you guys know nothing this way. I don't know what that says. Age is not a limit. It's only your mindset. Do you like Russia so far, Troy? I love Russia. I think it's a fantastic.
Yeah, it's true.
I think it's a fantastic
Now
place.
it's work, but later.
Uh-huh.
Instagram?
Yes.
Okay, go to Instagram.
Oh, she's got a tongue piercing. Let's see.
We all know about that.
Oh, sexy. Yeah, no, I love Russia. It's a cool place. We are having a lot of fun here. You know, I could definitely return here again. Well, we are going to be here again later in the year anyway, in December. It's going to be a lot of fun. Spasiba. Bye. Bye.
Okay. So that was a weird one because yeah, we just want to crack on and actually give you guys some value, but details are exchanged and we'll just see what happens. To be honest, it wasn't really. It was almost a close to get rid of her. If I'm being brutally honest.
Well, somebody on the streams like, oh my God, she's smoking hot. To be honest, man, you need to come out here because if you think that's smoking hot, then
if we're being brutally honest, she was a Russian 3, 4. What do you honestly reckon? Russian 5.
Yeah, something like that.
Russian
Something
5, so
like that.
global 7.
Yeah, I mean she's okay. I quite like the tattoo she had on her butt.
Let me read some of these
I
questions.
can't.
Out.
Yeah.
I can read them with my laser eye surgery vision. Tusk. I went out last night by myself, fucking awkward, just sat at the bar drinking, very hard to do that. No approach. Just get in touch with me or Troy and let's get some coaching going on. Good sir. I have 2 dates lined up and they're decent looking, 6 out of 10, but not fully my type. Should I go on the date to build my experience in dating because I'm not experienced in dating, or should I pass? Yes, I would go on the dates. Work in the streets. You guys are paving the way. Age is not a limit, only your own mindset. So do you like Russia so far, Troy?
I love Russia so far. Just on the age thing, I was talking to Tusk earlier about this because I won't say that age is not a factor here at all, but it certainly hasn't for me been a major factor. I've met girls who are, you know, somewhat younger than me, let's say, and they haven't even asked me about my age or anything. They don't seem to care. It's just not really an issue at all. Now I'm not targeting any particular age group. You know, I quite like girls in their sort of mid to late 20s, to be honest, but you know, it's just not an issue here in the way that it probably would be in London or in the US or something like that.
It's almost like normal to see a 50-something 6-year-old bloke with a 20-year-old.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just culturally very different. Again, there's no feminism here. It's a post-feminist society. We're actually going to link a video about Russia below as well. So I'll link the Good Looking Loser article and the post-feminist society video about Russia to give some explanation of it won't tell you the full story, but it kind of explains why things are the way they are. But then you have to come here and actually date to see what it's really like.
Yeah. I mean, for example, just as one example, I was having a shisha yesterday with a student, a girl who's studying English literature at university, very attractive, articulate young woman, and she didn't ask. She had no issue, didn't ask about my age, no problem at all. It just didn't come up. It's just not a thing. They were much more interested, I think, in connecting. Obviously, if they like the look of you, but then connecting on a more conversational level and just having that vibe between the two of you. It's not about things like age or any of this stuff. It's just not an issue over here, really.
Agreed. Any more questions? There was another one for you, Troy. What would you say is a differentiating factor that separates the guys that get good and just drop off after 3 to 6 months?
Well, I don't really know why guys drop off after 3 to 6 months, really, because with this kind of thing, ultimately it has to just become part of your lifestyle. You transform from being somebody who isn't social, who doesn't go out and approach, because that's what this all comes down to. It's going out and putting yourself out there and going and speaking to people women you find attractive, people you find attractive. You just become that person. It shouldn't be something that you drop out of. It should just be that's a new skill set. That's just something that you do.
I'm assuming because the Wi-Fi connection is good, that's why we've got 104 guys now tuned in.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably why. So moving forward, we'll try and get secure Wi-Fi.
The thing is, what we're trying to do, we're trying to go outside and make these things a bit more interesting than us just sitting in a room.
And the risk of we run the risk with that of a drop in quality, but it is what it is. This is a good one, featuring none other than our old pal, Mr. TT.
Who?
What are your thoughts on staying in an Airbnb versus a hotel? Tom Serrero would say a hotel raises LMR. So raises LMR. So I'm wondering what your experience has been so far.
Well, that hasn't been an issue for us.
Why would a hotel raise LMR?
I know what he's saying. What they're saying is that if you're staying in a hotel, then it can feel a bit. Maybe it feels to her a bit like she's an escort, or it's a bit sort of like almost like a pay to play type thing.
If you're staying in a hotel,
I know what he's saying. Because there's something about like an Airbnb. It can almost look like it's your home. Or you're sort of based there for a bit longer. If she might feel it's very transitory,
right?
And you're just
which it is, because we're just coming from days.
But that's the point. But the thing is, we haven't been making any secret of that fact, have we?
No, I'm actually telling people I'm leaving. I'm here for the weekend. I'm leaving. I even send them my flight. And
actually, I mean, funnily enough, we've been talking about this both ways, because the other way of looking at this is, well, what level of hotel are you staying at? Now, as we were saying earlier, the way we're staying is very nice. But it's not like top. It's not like top level, sort of Hyatt level hotel.
It's a step down from it's a step. It's probably like a 3.
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Now, would it be better if we were staying in the Hyatt? Well, to be honest, in some instances, it probably would, because you've got women here who are very, they're looking. They want to have a high value experience. So actually, the reverse might be true, that you want to be staying not just staying in a hotel, but actually staying in quite a fancy hotel. I think it's one of those things. I don't think it's a big deal. I think you can overthink these things. If the girl's into you, she's going to come back. It doesn't matter if you're in a hotel or you're in,
It does matter, though, to a degree. I think there is a glass ceiling if you're staying in an absolute dive, where you're going to get some girls being like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
But you had it before when you were staying in quite a small room in London, right?
Yeah.
Some pretty high value women, and they come back and almost be making jokes, but it's not.
Yes,
it's too far the other way, right?
Yeah, exactly. You've got to. Yeah, I mean, again, and this is why we'll talk more about money and status
tomorrow. We'll do it on the stream tomorrow.
Yeah, because those things do play a big part, or they play a part.
Troy looks about 25. What the fuck? I think he's giving you a compliment.
Thanks, man.
Again, guys, priorities to guys who actually donate to this cause. We give a lot of this is our jobs, right? And I'm not trying to make guys feel bad, but if you want your question answered, instead of asking it 17 times, just maybe open your hand to the cause slightly, even if it's a minimal, like $1 donation, and we're going to prioritize, as always, questions with a tip, right?
Exactly, because this is our Sunday. We could be resting, having our feet massaged by fish,
which I kind of want to do. We were going to do that, but then we couldn't afford it because they didn't take card. So guys, if you do feel you get value from us, feel free to just donate a little bit. It does help. It's just a show of gesture, right? It's like tipping in a restaurant. If you've got any value for us, feel free to do it.
Think of us like your waiters serving up the gastronomic delights of Red Pill excellence.
700 opens and only 8 lays. Am I a beginner? No, I wouldn't say beginner, intermediate, advanced. I think they're misleading, but I think you'd need some feedback on what you're doing. Yeah, because those are quite low stats. $10. There we go. What a legend. Thank you for that. We're going to skip straight to whoever you are. Kevin Delts. Hi guys, love you both. Do you make any ideals list before you go out? And cold approach to get to better delineate what you're looking for. Delineate. God, my grasp of the English.
Ideals list. Do you mean like for the type of women that we are?
Yeah. So for example, I mean, I kind of do this naturally in conversation, right? So I screen for if they're a traveller, what they're into. I like psychology, reading around that kind of self-development stuff. I obviously like women that go to the gym, who are in good shape. Those are kind of the main things I'll screen for and look for. Very feminine women as well, feminine, giggly women that are kind of positive, like live in the moment energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, at the beginning, it is useful to make this list if you are getting started with this stuff.
Yeah, I would agree.
But thank you for the donation. I got absolutely blown out today from Lamar.
Congratulations, man. That's what it's all about.
It is. Do you guys recommend writing field reports after going out every time, and in what format would you suggest to write it? If you get
journaling is useful.
If you get on a WhatsApp accountability group with me, I get you to write down everything and feedback, and it's a great way of kind of taking your thoughts out of your head and actually putting them, materializing them onto paper so you can see them and kind of assimilate the information properly and adjust. So I do think it's useful, yeah. But do you want to be posting like lay report with hot blonde on bench, you know, and writing a 2-hour report on a public forum just to get validation? No, I think that's stupid. It should be done for yourself, no one else. Imagine a bit like Steve Jobs when he designed the inside of a Mac. No one's going to see it, but he said it's got to be beautiful from the inside out because it's about my own self standards. Same with you, like don't try and impress anyone in life. Just impress yourself. That's the only person you need to impress.
Want a water?
Sure. All right. I'd love a water. I will crack on with this. We're not going to go too long today, guys, but glad to see 115 of you tuned in. Once again, you know, the last couple of streams have been a bit suspect with the quality. That's because we've been on the move. We're now connected to Wi-Fi, which is great. Appreciate all the support as usual. And tomorrow we're off to Siberia, which is going to be really, really interesting. City of 3 million people, Ekaterinburg, strictly speaking, more Ural Mountains, but novelty nonetheless. And we'll try and get some live streaming going on while we're there. A lot of shouting going on. A lot of shouting going on. Look at this. God, it's aggressive. Look at the bloke. Look at that. Got a nice Russian argument from the tree. God, she's got a perfect afro as she argues away. Very nice looking at.
What a high quality, what an alpha.
He's holding frame.
I'll go further. Should we go?
I wouldn't go too close. You don't want to see them.
He's holding frame.
We're getting distracted by the Russian argument.
He's got a course coming out. He's got a course coming out on holding frame.
They're kicking off from that. It's not bad looking in there. Black. We get distracted. That's my dad. AK-47 is coming out soon. Little scrap going down. Thanks, guys, for the value. Not at all. Anyone like to tip us for any of the content we put out, please go ahead. Follow the lead of Mr. Devon. Every little helps. It really does. Guys, still kicking off over that. Yeah. How to get over many rejections. It hurts my confidence and trust myself. Listen to Robert Glover's book, where he talks about high and low interest and using it, you know, approaching a lot as a filter system to find the good and the bad. Listen to what we say about leveraging rejection. The more you don't have your shit together, or the less, I should say, the less you have your shit together as a man, i.e. the less you have your life in order to do with fitness, finances, fashion, living an interesting life, and mental health on point, you know, all that stuff, the more rejection
the thing
is a personal affront.
The thing is, Jesus. The thing is, right, there's two things, as Good Looking Loser says in the article, which we can link below. There's two things. There's looking good. There's trying to look as good as you possibly can. Obviously, there's limitations on that, but you want to look as good as you can. And then there's approaching a lot, okay? And what Good Looking Loser says is the guys who have those two things down, they look as good as they can look and approach a lot, and they approach in a flirtatious manner. Those are the guys who are getting the best and most comprehensive results. Okay, so you want to be doing those two things. You want to be looks maxing, and you want to be approaching as much as you can. Now, within that, you're going to get a lot of rejections, but the beauty of it is that you will also inevitably, in the end, see some successes. You've just got to keep going. And as the successes start to trickle in, then you start to get that sense of, wow, this is kind of addictive now, because I want to keep flipping that. I want to keep throwing the dice. I want to keep just throwing the dice, because next time I could win big. And I think that is the thing that keeps you motivated, keeps you moving on.
Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
Crackhead Joe Pesci is just not Joe Pesci. Who's the guy that the lead role in fucking
Scarface?
No, Goodfellas. Ray Liotta, a crackhead Ray Liotta. Any final questions, lads?
It's looking beautiful on the beach now. The sun is going down.
Any tips getting motivation back after lockdowns? I did a year of it in 2019. Man, just get back out there. If you need to kick up the ass, get in touch with us. We have WhatsApp accountability groups. We have live coaching. You know, this is what we do full time as a job, right? We teach guys. So yes, we charge money, but yes, you have that much needed step-by-step implementable plan to follow from us, from years of doing this ourselves and teaching guys, and you have the accountability so we can get you from A to B, get you up to doing the approaching.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Rejection is good. Rejection is valuable. Keep getting rejected. Keep throwing the dice. Because the win, because you got rejection, which is bad, but then the win is like amazing. All right. So you've got to keep throwing the dice. You've got to be in the game all the time. And that way you're gonna, you know, and it's just fantastic. You don't need 99% of the approaches that you make to be successful. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. You're going through the process in order to find the ones that do come off. And the ones that do come off will turn into memories that will last the rest of your life.
Is it possible to approach with a mask? Yes, go back through my hundreds of bin fields during lockdown, approaching with a mask. Thank you, Mustang. You've listened and you've donated to the cause. What would you do, guys, about a girl who's lost interest, but she still reaches out?
She's reaching out. How, to what degree is she lost
actions,
interest?
not words. Yeah, you know, look at her actions. If she's still reaching out, I would say that she's interested. We've got.
She might just be looking for attention, though. It depends what the details are. If you're saying she's reaching out, but maybe she doesn't want to hang out, or she's being resistant about going on a date with you or something, then I would just drop it and limit contacts.
My rule is you ask them out twice, and if they say no both times, delete the number and move on, because they're not interested in seeing you. They just want attention.
Yeah.
If she's still replying.
It could potentially be that she is just, you know, looking for attention, and
they love having orbiters.
You obviously don't really want to humor that, you know, unless there's a value add for you.
15, is it too young to start cold approaching? No, I'd say get started now. The earlier the better. Thunder and rain here, guys.
In London?
Wherever they are. It's how to donate, hit the super chat stuff. It's very easy to do. Hi, James Bond, how are you? Well, I have a fast and common question if you can answer, please. How to give a girl enough interest without using your high value guy? That makes no sense. Any kind of thoughts now that we've got good audio, that things that maybe might have been missed in the previous streams? Not anything just to keep banging on the same drum, but any kind of, if you're starting from beginning, you've just started watching our stuff, or you had a bit of a sabbatical with this stuff because of lockdown, what are your key tips just to get to try and get as good a dating life as you can as quickly as possible? What are the key things to do?
Honestly assess yourself in terms of how you look. Improve anything that can be improved. Obviously, some things it's very difficult to improve, other things it's relatively easy to improve. So improve the things that can be improved. Just get that honest assessment of yourself and just make sure that you're maxing out on that level. And then you've just got to get out there and you've got to start putting yourself about. You've got to start approaching. You've got to start having conversations, and having conversations where basically you are asking for a phone number, or you're asking for a date, or you're trying to move things forward. There's no point in just going out and having conversations that lead to nowhere. These have got to be intentional conversations that are supposed to, you know, lead in a direction of a date or, you know, whatever, right? It going somewhere. Okay, so go out, be having those conversations as much as you possibly can. James recommends 2 to 3 times per, you know, per day.
I think at the beginning,
20 a week.
I think
you know.
you can build up to that. There's two ways of doing this. Two schools of thought. You can build up to that. So you do one approach a day until you're comfortable doing that. Up into 2 a day until you're comfortable doing that. Up into 3 a day until you're comfortable doing that. And then do one longer session on the weekend of maybe 90 minutes, like 10 approaches, say. That's a way to implement it into your life as an overall. Here's the other argument to say, go fucking mental with the approaching to begin. Do 100, 200 a week. But is it too big an ask for most guys just to jump into that? Yes. But I think the build it up approach might be a better way of doing it, and then slowly ramping it until you're very comfortably doing a lot.
But what you need to, either way, you need to break the back of the idea that it's not possible for you to go and just speak to people that you don't know, because that's the key to everything. As he always says, the limiting factor for most people, for most guys, is their ability to approach. And if you're not approaching, then all the rest of this stuff is kind of academic. It doesn't matter about good game.
It's irrelevant until you pick the reps.
Yeah.
It's a skill game, that's game, and it's a numbers game, that's the numbers part. Until you're hitting 20 to 30 a week, you're just not even entering into the hurt arena, right?
Exactly.
You're not even entering the arena. So I wouldn't even bother about technique or any of that shite. Just go and open your mouth to 20 to 30 hot girls per week, saying absolute random shit, and then just asking for a phone number. Until you're doing that, don't worry about anything else, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And even then, even when you do start to learn more theory and you become a little bit more skilled about some of the way social dynamics work, the reality is you can still do a very, very bad interaction, get a phone number, and it can still lead to a successful date. Because you know, there's a delicate balance between skill and just being in the right place at the right time. But being in the right place at the right time is a big part of it. And it can be almost all of it in some cases. So learning skills, important, but putting yourself out there is the key thing, really.
Flyaway says day game is just too weird. I'm sorry. It's not. I know it seems like a strange thing to do because we've been socialized to not talk to people. But if you really think about it, it's a lot more normal. How did your dad meet your mum? How did your granddad meet your grandmother? Probably he walked up to her, right, and said hello, because there wasn't the opportunity to hide behind a mobile phone on dating apps. So you know, day game as an overall is weird in the sense that it's unusual because most people do it, but it's actually the most natural way to communicate with someone. See them, see a hot girl without any substances in your body, without hiding behind a screen, and go and start a conversation with hot girl. It's actually what we were built to do as human beings.
Yeah.
We just got lost along the way.
If you took a step back and you said, well, how does the human species now generally procreate? And you said, well, what you do is you get this little black plastic metal box and you kind of go like that with your finger. And then if you see something you like, you hit it. And then you send some electronic messages through the ether. That sounds pretty damn weird, right? If it's just, well, you go up and you say hello and you see if there's chemistry there, to me, that sounds a lot more normal. All right. But then on the other hand, who cares about normal anyway, right? I mean, it's about what works. But look at where we are now. I mean, if you look at the strip, I mean, you know, you can see people just walking around.
How do you do that? Out from the bottom.
Yeah.
Right.
You can see people just walking around, and sometimes you'll see attractive women walking past and everything. What is weird about going up to somebody and saying hello? You know, I mean, you could say, I can understand to some extent the argument that if you are in, a shopping mall or something like that, and you're charging around, maybe that's a little bit weird, in the sense that it can seem uncalibrated. But in a place like this, the whole atmosphere is very social anyway. You know, it's not so. Walk up to somebody and say, "Oh, hi, you're on holiday?" "Yeah, I'm on holiday. Sochi's a great place. Really enjoy myself. I just wanted to meet you." That's not weird. That's just being social.
If you mean it's weird because you feel weird about it and you need help with us, get in touch with us. Send us an email. We can help you through that process. That's what we do. It is very scary when you begin this stuff because you just don't know how to do it. Hence why you should go to a coach, right? That's the entire point of why we have this job. Who was the guy that donated? Thank you very much. She called me crying, miss me as I don't reach out anymore, but she won't move forward when I tried to. I think it's just attention. You're right. Okay, thank you, Mustang, for the donation again. I would move on. I would cut your losses and just move on.
I would just withdraw attention. I mean, you don't necessarily need to block her because maybe she'll reach out again, but I would not
Withdraw
really,
attention. Yeah.
not entertain. If it's not going to go anywhere, you don't
Attention is kryptonite for women. It's literally like the equivalent of giving a woman like attention from a high quality man is the equivalent of giving women like $50,000. Like they really value it. They'll never tell you that, but they really do. All humans crave attention, especially women. They crave high value male attention. So just limit it. You know, understand the value of it. Don't just give it out for free. It devalues it, that currency. If you're looking for biological sexual needs, if you're looking out for your biological sexual needs, why not just hire a prostitute?
Yeah. Who said that?
William Jefferson.
Well, you can do that if you want. I mean,
Is there anything wrong with doing that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. Live and let live. The only issue with that is that it is never quite as it's never the same.
It's not fulfilling. There's a reason prostitution it doesn't fulfill men, and you doesn't make people happy. You need the chase, and you need seduction dance on both sides, and you need the snuggles. You need that emotional connection with a woman you actually like, and then you need the bang as well. You need all three of those.
I think what most men want most of the time is genuine reciprocation, right? You know, you want to feel that she's actually attracted to you, that she actually wants to be there. In general, with prostitution, that is likely not the case. I mean, it may occasionally be the case, but in most cases, that's not going to be the case. And so, it's a simulacrum, to use a big word.
What a word! What does that mean?
Thank you. It means it looks very like sex and it feels very like sex, but it's not really. It's like an imitation.
Fuck Tinder, couldn't agree more. Do you think technology is the main influence behind a drop in social skills? Yes, I do.
Hello.
To donate, click the $sign icon and then click super chat. Yes, thank you very much for awesome dude. We do appreciate donations, however big or small. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we got to pay the bill at the hooker lounge.
Lubbock,
not hooker like
Lubbock guys, however, isn't time a big time constraint for you? Yes, time is extremely valuable. Getting numbers and dates, but in FSU, getting the bang is harder. I don't agree with that notion. Whoever propagated this myth of 5 dates in the FSU is just not, in my opinion. Yeah.
May I receive you Russian Testament?
No, sorry, we're working.
We're meeting.
Meeting. Sorry. No. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too. We almost got done in with a religious gig get up there, didn't we? We dodged that.
He was trying to share the good news.
No, so it's whoever propagates this myth of 5 date rule, it's nonsense. It's not. You're going to get some girls that turn up and are time wasters, but you can see very quickly, can't you, just by the way they're acting?
Yeah.
Whether they're just to practice their English or get attention, or whether they're actually a genuine into you. So, yeah, like anywhere, there's different cultural nuances, but dating here is no harder or easier than anywhere else, really.
No, although we have got considerable cultural cachet here, being from the UK, being from London, that we wouldn't have there. So there is that difference, but that gets it easier to get into conversations. It gets it easier to perhaps get phone numbers and things. Somewhat easier to get dates, but you've still got to have qualities about you to get to the end goal, right? It doesn't mean that you just come here and you can just be a chode and it's all going to be easy. Yeah, it's not going to fall into your lap. So yes, in general, while we have some advantages here, the reality is girls will have one-night stands or some, and if you're a chode provider type, then it may take longer, but just don't fall into that archetype.
Russia looks a bit like Brighton or Blackpool Beach on a nice day, yes, but let's just be well aware that we're in Sochi, which is kind of the Russian coast. This isn't representative of the entirety of Russia. It's a very big country. Modern Life Dating says what's weird is not having sex with hot girls. I completely agree with that. Fair enough about the calibration thing. There is a time and a place, but it would be weird for both parties in, say, the middle of the street. No, it wouldn't be weird to meet someone. We're teaching social skills, social freedom. It's not weird. You see your dream girl in any situation, it's not weird. It feels weird for you because I almost would bet my left bollock that you've never done a cold approach, right? So it seems out of your reality because it is, and it seems weird, but it's not the actual, when you actually start communicating with human beings outside of your phone, and not relying on loads of fucking booze to communicate, it isn't weird at all. But it's going to feel awkward for you because you're not doing it and you don't know what to do. But fuck your feelings, get on with it. It's the best way to meet people and improve your social skills as a whole. We've got questions are flying in. We're up to 128 guys. It just goes to show when there's a quality connection, people actually like it. Okay, this is good. Video quality is spectacular this time. Thank you guys. There's just, you know, small tricks and tips. Just getting on fucking Wi-Fi. This bird coming up looks quite tidy. She
Could be a right world.
She could be hot, yeah. We'll see what she's like as she goes past. Worth a squirt. Yeah, I'm on for the troops.
All right, Tusk is
Fuck, I'm gonna have to go up the steps of doom.
Tusk is going in. He's going to have to go up the steps of doom. Let's see what happens. Right, I don't know if you guys could see any of that, but it looks like he stopped her and he has started the conversation. Oh, okay. It looks like he's getting the number or on Instagram or something. So it looks like that's gone quite well. Beautiful sunset now across the beach in Sochi. Just have a look at this. The sun is going down on our last evening here. Let's see what Tusk up to. Yep, he seems to be getting the number, which is good news because this is our last evening, gentlemen, in Sochi before we get a plane tomorrow, very early, which I'm not really looking forward to be honest. But there you go. Let's see what else we've got here. Really hard to see these questions, guys. Thank you. Okay, so Svetan says, Tusk and Troy, you are an inspiration. He's done 5 approaches in the last few days and he's got 2 numbers. That is great. That's fantastic to hear. As a 19-year-old, I'm in the habit of approaching women my age because I wouldn't be attracted to older women. Is this a barrier I should break, or am I gaming smart by going for younger? I think as a 19-year-old, you know, your value is going to increase as you get older. But then having said that, I mean, if you're theoretically, if you're gaming women of your age, they are biologically the most attractive women around, so you're not in a bad position.
Check. Bill.
Card.
If you like older women, then give it a crack by all means. But just bear in mind that at 19, you know, your value is going to improve as you get older, and then you're going to be able to have access to a wider range of women of different ages. How was that? Good.
Yeah, very little English. I just, you know, she said she's going home to clean herself up. I said, shall I join you? She said,
you don't have to.
I said, look, I'm my last day here. Are you free to meet for a drink a bit late? She said, yeah, let's speak. So we'll see what happens.
Apparently, Napoleon. You know, Napoleon was he was giving one to Josephine, and when he was away at sea, he used to write to Josephine and say, "Don't wash when I come back because I prefer you dirty."
Are you being serious?
Apparently. So you know,
how dirty are we talking?
just like, you know, he likes it a bit grimy.
Oh God, the smell though.
Yeah, especially back in those days because they didn't have like you know, Pantene or anything, did they?
You're not getting the old James Bond, you know, shaven and not you get yeah. Oh God, it's just
Doesn't bear thinking about it, really.
It doesn't, does it? We've been going 48-minute, guys. It's good to see a lot of you tuning in with this high quality pick. So just a reminder to us to always be evolving that principle Kaizen 1% better. And well, you know, just connecting to the live stream, but the Wi-Fi clearly makes a big difference for the connection, which is something we can remember moving forward.
I mean, it's not like we've ever wanted the quality to not be good or anything. I mean, obviously,
Treat them mean, keep them keen, and then they appreciate good quality more.
obviously we always want the quality to be good. It's just we're trying to, because we're charging
much
around in these places and we're trying to bring it to you live. Sometimes there's been a drop off in quality, but we felt that it's worthwhile because we want you to see what it's actually like when we're going around. So hopefully you're able to. I know there's many people here and they've given us a lot of forbearance for that, and I thank you very much for that. We will try to keep the quality as high as we possibly can, though, and obviously as we continue, we will be tweaking this and hopefully getting it even better. And all the rest of it.
Thank you, D-Man. And yeah, just guys, a question to you guys out there. Just, feel free to answer this now or later, but would you prefer us to be streaming live with lower quality shit, but you can see us approaching and stuff? Or would you prefer it to be high quality, but we're doing more of the sitting in a hotel, talking about existential theory? Because we don't mind which we do, but we want to just give you guys a good viewing experience, right?
We could do a bit of both. I mean, I think the value of us being out here is that you will get random things happening. Like that girl came down and sat with us. I mean, last night, even though if you watch the stream, it was like not great quality last night, but then some guy came in and we were chatting to him for a bit. I think there's a certain fun randomness to these outdoor things.
I do.
That's really, really cool. But sometimes, unfortunately, there's a slight drop in quality because of basically the Wi-Fi.
Moscow was high quality just because it's a capital city. The Wi-Fi connection is good there. The internet connection is going to be good. St. Petersburg, actually, ironically, we were connected to the free St. Petersburg Wi-Fi most of the time. That's why this was good. Sochi is got less signals for whatever reason.
Or it might just be there's a load of people here and they're all on the Wi-Fi and it's sort of, making it difficult.
Thank you, D-Man, for the donation. These days, girls are buried into their laptops in public spaces, headphones on. How do I break this space? It's so awkward. Go up and just start speaking. And if they want to take the headphones out, they will. And you can just call it out. Hey, look, I know you're probably, call it out with the T's. Hey, look, I know you're probably busy working. Actually, maybe Facebook. But I had to say, look nice, see her reaction. And then if it's good, carry on. And if it's not, just say adios. That's how you would do it.
Exactly. Really just gauging high interest or low interest. What is the vibe?
Low quality and approaching, mainly low quality live approaches. So the people have spoken. We will continue to do a mix of both anyway.
What are they saying? Live?
They seem to be saying a mix of both is best. So low quality but approaching and high quality existential chinwags.
Yeah, because that's how I would like to do it anyway. Because I think there's some value of just taking the guys out there into the melee, and just into the real nitty gritty and showing you what it's like. And then there's almost a little bit like, not back to the classroom, but right now we're back at the fireplace and we've got the whiskey and cigars and we're sort of ruminating on stuff. But if it was too far one way or the other, it would just be a bit, you've got to give you the full picture.
It'll be boring for us as well. With the man with the bandana.
Very strange. There's a lot of IOIs from girls who clearly have boyfriends here, isn't there?
There is.
And husbands.
And it's always the case, isn't it? They get very brave when they're with a guy because mostly the guys are clueless. They do not notice the girl checking out the competition. But she knows what she's up to.
Yeah.
Final few minutes, guys.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, we've been going 53 minutes, so we'll go 7 more just to round it up neatly to the hour. Again, the reason we got back on is because we're always striving for higher quality and to challenge ourselves. And we just thought, okay, we've done a live stream today, but it wasn't particularly good quality because we weren't connected to the Wi-Fi. We did a pretty shoddy one yesterday. Again, the content was, we really enjoyed speaking about it because it was very genuine. But again, we understand that from the viewer point of view, it was not great. So hence why we're back on doing another stream and we might have recapped a few key things. But what's happening with Tom Torero? Will he join you?
If someone asks about Tom Torero, I get right. You've got to do the burpees, man.
Why is everyone so obsessed with Tom Torero? Look, the man has done a lot of good for this whole thing. But let's be honest, he hasn't really been doing anything for a number of years now. It's a bit like, I'm trying to think of an analogy, but it's like me actually banging on about, when are Oasis going to get back together? It's not really a prevalent issue anymore. It's not going to happen. So,
will Tom Torero get back if he gets offered like £1 million for Glastonbury?
Не английский.
No.
Не надо мне это. А куда самого рук Навец. Выговор английского.
Exactly.
Don't keep talking to him. Yeah. He was a very anti-English dude.
So would Tom Torero regroup for £1 million if he got offered it?
Yes, in a heartbeat, of course he would. For £1 million, I think most people do most things for £1 million, just cash in hand, wouldn't they?
Probably.
But
It's kind of a non-issue. I mean, like he is well. He is in London, or he was last time I saw him, which was a couple of weeks ago. Doing well, doing some other stuff. He's moved away from the, creating videos, creating online content for the moment. Will he be back? Don't know. Kind of his business, whatever material that he's got out there, you can obviously access that. You can watch the old stuff. But there's no point in keeping asking us about it, because it's like, I don't know, really. I mean,
well, there's definitely no point asking me. I haven't spoken to him in 7 years. I mean, you do know him on a
yeah.
Maybe the question's directed at you, but
no, I mean, like, for the message doesn't change. For the moment, he has stepped away. He's doing other stuff, and you're stuck with us, really.
The top people I would like to get on, if it's an open invite, if they ever happen to watch this, which they probably won't. Let's see what happens. Connection, Wi-Fi free, sign into network. You might need to whip out my phone number. Yeah, +7.
Do you remember how it started?
Yeah, 985.
All right, 985 809.
Yeah.
0254. 54.
We are back, guys. I know we dropped out there. We were chin-wagging about how good the Wi-Fi was, and it timed out. But yeah, top people I'd like to get on. Robert Greene.
Yeah.
From all of his fucking fantastic books. Robert Glover. 60 Years of Challenge. Good-looking loser. They'd be my top 4 dream team to get on, because I think they give massive amounts of value. Very, very cool people to come on. And that would be about it, really. Oh, and Mark Manson, the author of Models. Any of those guys I'd love to get on. Whether they're all very hard to get hold of for obvious reasons, that they're all, well, I don't know about 6 Years of Challenge. I'm not sure he does this stuff anymore, but the other guys are all just very successful guys.
You mentioned good-looking loser.
Good-looking loser and 6 Years of Challenge. I'm not convinced they really operate in this space anymore, so I'm not convinced they'd want to get on it. Mark Manson, obviously incredibly successful author, started as a dating coach, moved to self-help. He'd be very hard to get hold of because he's so big. Same with Robert Greene. Robert Glover maybe wants to target mightn't he?
Well, we are going to reach out to Robert.
I'm going to reach out to Robert Glover. Highly recommend his book, Dating Principles or Dating Advice for Men. Just Google Robert Glover dating book.
I think it's Dating Essentials.
Dating Essentials, very, very good book. Back to basics, very, very good. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. You can cut through all of the BS really with a book like that.
You can.
Very, very straightforward, very simple, very practical.
Yeah, stream cut out right after you said top people would like to get on. The Wi-Fi timed out, so it was what it was, but we're back.
And full effect.
And I'm glad we finally got a stream coming back as well, because I was slightly concerned it was game, set, and match. Like either of those? Didn't tell. I didn't see them. Yeah. There we go. Weaseling out of approaches, exactly as we're telling you not to.
Yeah, but it's kind of the thing. It's because it's almost the opposite issue that you have here, because the quality is so abundant. It's almost like, well,
it is. Yeah. That's the G. Also, we're quite tired, and we do have a flight at 6 a.m., which is going to put a spanner in the works. It's now coming up to 20 to 7 on a Sunday evening in Sochi. This is goodbye Sochi from us. We may come at you with an early morning live stream if the Wi-Fi connection permits in Sochi Airport, although I wouldn't hold your breath.
That could be good.
That could be very good, but
yeah.
I wouldn't hold your breath on the Wi-Fi connection. But it'd be cool to get some early morning caffeinated thoughts. I do promise to do an existential half-cut version soon. I missed doing those from Mexico, where I was battered off my tits and was ranting and raving at the camera. I highly miss them. But we will get back to those, or I will get back to those in due course at some stage. Not sure where. Just a recap of where we're going to be. Me and Troy part ways at the end of next week. We are off to Siberia, and then we end it in Moscow for a few days.
Maybe at a sex party.
Maybe at a sex party. I fly to Crete. He flies to Berlin. We rejoin forces in Tbilisi in Georgia and Batumi Beach, 12th to the 18th of August. Get in touch if you'd like to join us. It's very easy to get into Georgia. There's no restrictions. Great place to be in the summer. Very hot women, very high level of English. And then we both go for the main shebang. Helsinki, everything open internally. Blonde hair, blue eyed, promiscuous as fuck girls. Very fun place to be. 18th to 24th. Cannot wait for those two. And we'll probably do a Berlin bootcamp at some stage in September. Get in touch if you're interested in that. And then after that, I'll be off to Mexico, and it'll be sayonara to Europe for 6 months as usual. I always fuck off. I come back to Europe for the summer and then leave. So the next sort of live streams you see of me and approaches will be me in Mexico, Day of the Dead, big Halloween party, and then on to Brazil. Probably I'll stop in Thailand in November as well. So action-packed schedule. As always, this traveling nomadic lifestyle coming at you from around the globe. Exciting times, really. Exciting times. If you like what we talk about, but you can't be asked to learn game, then at least get on a plane and travel. It will just help you as a person. It will improve your perspective on life. It will make you see the bigger picture.
And the paradigm, as you said, is very, very different here than it is in the UK. If you're sitting in, say, the UK in Norfolk, or you're sitting in America in a small town, or Canada or whatever, you know, the vibe is very, very different here. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed at how different things are.
And how much, you know, from you just getting out of the UK, actually, I haven't really asked you this, because obviously I basically did the Great Escape and was dodging lockdown the entirety of the year. But for you've been to Berlin a couple of times, but this is the first kind of substantial amount of time you've kind of spent out of the UK in a long time. You've been out with me. We've been together now for almost 3 weeks. How did it feel to kind of come out for the first time? Was it weird to be traveling away? Was there apprehension? Is it what you expected?
Well, not really. I have been in somewhat of a comfort zone though in London, because I do love London for many reasons. Dating not one of them, but for many other reasons I do love London. I was in a bit of a comfort zone because obviously I've got mates there, I've got my routine, blah blah blah. But really, after getting out here and acclimatizing over a couple of days, it has been awesome, and it's been very valuable, I think, from a number of perspectives personally, just sort of like recentering things, and you know, it's certainly given both of us, I think, a lot of food for thought.
It really has,
hasn't it?
Also, just you know, we've been approaching a lot, and it's good to get back to that, because even in London, for me, you know, when I've been there, haven't been doing.
The juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Yeah, the juice isn't worth the squeeze to a large degree, but also I just prioritize other things when I'm in London.
Yeah.
Whereas it's when I travel is really when I hit this stuff.
And we need to be at the cutting edge of this, because we're talking about this stuff the whole time. We want to be living the life, right? We're living the life, and then we're talking about the life that we're living, right? And that's as authentic as it gets.
Yeah. So if you can't be asked to learn day game, just start traveling. And day game, or social skills, social freedom, and just being able to communicate with other human beings comes as a beautiful side dish to travel.
Yeah,
they really are the most complementary things that go hand in hand. It just increases your experience dramatically. It doesn't even matter if you're not really cold approaching. Just having the ability to be very socially and emotionally intelligent, having very high levels of self-esteem, self-confidence when it comes to socializing, just opens doors for meeting people, whether it's in a hostel, a house party, whether it's going to restaurants, whether it's asking for directions, asking advice, whether it's meeting new cool people, if they happen to be women, maybe even groups of guys if you want people to go out with. It all comes into, you know, the beauty of life, and realizing how easy it is to get stuck in a bullshit routine where you live, and how unenjoyable actually and uninspiring that can be.
Yeah.
Now, the paradox is, on the road, it's absolutely essential to build some sort of routine. So whether it's getting up, having a black coffee, hitting the gym, maybe Troy does some writing, I do some Brazilian Portuguese, even just having a basic kind of chain link of events at the beginning to have some routine. That's the paradox, because you have this freedom and this kind of sense is washed away, but you need that routine at the same time.
You really do. You really do. And that's actually something that I need to work on with traveling. Just making sure that everything, you know, I'm doing everything that I need to be doing. Because it is easy to let things go out the window.
Troy, we have a guy interested in Helsinki called Simon Thompson. He's going to message you on Instagram.
Good stuff.
Thank you for the $2 Canadian. Do a stream on finances. We're not. I don't really want to do a stream on finances, because I'm not a financial expert and I'm not a financial advisor. I don't want to give people false information, because what works for me might not work for someone else. But we will talk about money and the role that plays in traveling a bit, and how much you should be looking to spend. What's reasonable to be living a pretty cool, not complete baller lifestyle, but very comfortably, never looking at a bill, staying in hotels you want, like we do. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. from our place in Siberia as well.
Yes.
And on that note, any final thoughts, Mr. Francis?
Well, just enjoy the beautiful sunset here in Sochi, and yeah, man, it's been a blast, and just get out there and talk to people. Really, is what it comes down to.
And
I mean, we talked to a lot of people last night, and it was good. It was good. You know, there was thrills, spills, rejections, great acceptances. I mean, there was lots of great stuff going on, and that's what you want to do. Enjoy the rich tapestry of life.
It's a great way to sum it up, and I won't confound the situation by trying to add to it. As always, guys, we really appreciate the support. We appreciate the patience when we try and sort out kinks, and we know it's not always perfect, the content we put out, but we try. And in life, that's all you can do, isn't it? Give it a good crack of the whip, because one day it's going to end. Checking out from Sunday evening in Sochi. We'll see you in Siberia. Sayonara.